So this is just crazy. It's getting crazier and crazier. So I was in total shock. I honestly had no suspicion about the Eads family, and I'm not gossiping or what do they call that? Tailgating. Tailgating. But so I've been watching the Eads family forever. I mean, I watched her back when she was giving birth to her first child. And her and Joel, they just seem like the perfect couple. And I think that they are, but I think that they're going through some stuff. But the video that she put up about him, you can tell she is pissed. She is pissed about something like and fed up, right? And so she was just talking about how since 2011, how he's like an asshole, been leaving and going, like leaving her and the kids. She's got 8 kids with him. And I'm actually I hope that they work the shit out, but like I'm it's so refreshing to see some people be honest, honestly, because men are buttholes. I mean, I don't even know why people in social media was trying to make it seem like they weren't. Like, I think that all men are buttholes on some capacity. Uh, not saying that women are perfect, not saying that. I understand that both sides have a story to tell. I mean, every man is not perfect. Like, so on YouTube, people try to cover up or hide the buttholeness of men. And I respect her a lot for being honest about it. I mean, she is like, I expected her to take that video down. Like, they are such a cute couple. I hope that they make it. I hope that they work it out. I just think that a lot of these men have demons, man. Like, goodness gracious. It's like a whole 17-minute video of her exposing all of the troubles in their marriage. And it was one of the reasons why I didn't get married years ago. I didn't do it. Um, and it just, I've kind of accepted that men are buttholes. Um, I kind of thought that that was general knowledge, that none of them are going to be perfect. There is no perfect man in this world. It isn't. There's none of them are perfect. No, there's no perfect relationship. Like, if people think that, they are stuck in the movies. Every relationship is going to have problems. And it seems like, especially on YouTube, people try to, I mean, of course, I mean, honestly, I'd rather see the real shit. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I've been saying it for years. Like, I don't. Okay, so I used to love their like she doesn't really make a lot of videos anymore because she actually went through throat cancer. And but I used to watch her a lot. Like, I'm talking about for like the past 10 years. And, you know, the videos where couples are getting along is fine, but sometimes you want to see the real shit. And the real shit is that, now, no, now, honestly, um, yelling and screaming and, a man, just being verbally abusive and constantly putting kids through emotional turmoil, no, that's not cool. But like just the regular shit, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Men are buttholes. They are, you know, and I don't even know where on YouTube the delusion came in where these men are all trying to pretend, and people really like unless you've been in a real relationship, you don't even you really don't realize like what couples go through. And I think that especially if you've been watching YouTube and you didn't grow up with your parents, like you just have no idea. I mean, honestly, parents are going to argue sometimes. That doesn't mean it's an abusive environment. Parents are going, your parents are not going to get along all the time. You're not going to get along with your mate all the time. And people have a tendency to to front, I mean, j- d- mm-mm-mm. And and some of them, I mean, they will stay in their little buttholey way for days and days at a time, just being a butthole. And I think a part of that comes from male entitlement. I think that if men were not placed on a pedestal in society, and if it were not, I'm going to keep it real with you. I think that men would behave better. Okay, and this is not even the spiritual aspect of it, because I can get into the spiritual aspect of demon possessed men. Uh, yeah, I can get into that too. But just on the surface, when you look at the way society is made up, to where women are supposed to be subservient, women are supposed to be validated by men. Of course, men are going to be assholes. We are told as women that we are worthless unless a man marries us, or that we are worthless if a man doesn't say that we're not worthless. Now, I don't believe that. I'll tell a man to whatever, honestly. I mean, they all take advantage of our love for them. If they know that we love them and that we are never going to leave them, they are going to act out. They are going to be assholes. Okay, I just put butthole in the title. So imagine how men acted 100 years ago. 100 years ago, when it was illegal for a woman to divorce a man. Okay. And so yeah, like as long as a man is not putting his hands on me or putting his hands on my children or stealing from me, women are sort of forced to deal with these egomaniacs because of the way society is set up. I can guarantee you that if women were not almost required, a lot of women feel naked and unprotected if they're single. And I'm really proud of Lucy. I am so proud of her for saying, screw this, I'm going to be honest. Maybe he'll get his crap together. Okay. I was totally shocked though, to hear that um, you can't have good partnerships all the way when men think that they validate women. It's never going to work because the connection is not there, and it's very scary. All of the things that they do to make us fall in love with them. Um, and you look back and you think, was that even real? Was he acting? Because they're just buttholes, and some of them are better than others. I think with me, I want a real, like it's got to be completely real. It can't be, oh yeah, we're together, we're in social media. Like, no, I'd rather not. And I know that it's possible, but I think as long as men think that women need them, they're going to always be buttholes. If they fear losing a woman, but if you're just kind of always just and they know when you're never going to leave them, and they will take advantage of that. They will take advantage of the love that you have for them. And that's not fair. It's very hurtful. It's very hurtful because, and women are judged because of this. And then let's talk about biologically. Biologically, women need sex from men. There's pheromones that we need. And it's so bizarre. You see this man, and he's got this handsome grin on his face, and this mustache and beard, and you think, oh look, it's Santa Claus. Or some of them have a beard that looks like the devil. But you think to yourself, but all of them have their little butthole ways. And unless you're planning on either being a lesbian or just being alone or sleeping in separate bedrooms from them, you know, then what are you going to do? Like there's been this thing, well, there was this thing to where it was, oh, you don't live with your man don't live with you, you don't live. And it's like, I don't want to live with a man. I don't want to live with you because, I already know that the fantasy is going to be over, even though and I don't understand why they're so cranky. They're so cranky. Yeah, mysteriously kind. A lot of men are damaged. And you know what? I bet you for some of them, we can possibly connect it to them being circumcised, maybe, but not all the time. But yeah, men are they're pretty difficult, you know? On some level, all of them have problems, and they have no cap, they have no filter, they just say whatever, and it's just like they. So I was shocked. A lot of people in our comment section was like, I could totally see it. I couldn't see it. Like they just, and I think that when you're going through hard times and you're angry, when you're going through hard times and you're angry, um, you know, you you know what I'm saying? But they are just the cutest couple. You know what I'm saying? Like it's terrible, but yeah, all of them are buttholes. And I don't trust the ones that act perfect. I don't. Like, please let me know how much of a butthole that you are early on so that I won't be in shocked when I find out the real you. So sometimes it's good to know how much of a butthole they are. Because when they act too perfect, mm, I'd rather know exactly what your mental problem is, what your spiritual problem is, so that I can determine, you know, what it is. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I was single for years because men are buttholes. I found out men were buttholes just from my father. I think my father's a butthole. Just seeing the things that would happen with my mother. Am I going to come on here and say, oh, my father is so perfect and perfect? No, I'm not. Like, you're a butthole. Please stop being a butthole. Okay? Stop being a butthole. Yeah. So it was actually quite refreshing to see her be honest about that and for her to discuss what she's really been going through. And I think the title of it is Something and Abandonment. Social media is a lie. And it is the truth. Um, and so, family vloggers within themselves have already been under a lot of fire. There's a lot of people that don't agree with a lot of these family vloggers and stuff, showing their kids. I don't exactly know where a lot of these people came from. I mean, that whole dark world has taken over YouTube like a virus, honestly, because I enjoy it, but not once have I ever looked at those people and thought, oh, these people never had problems. No, no. You get a man and a woman together, they're going to have problems, especially if he is a butthole. Okay. And most of them are just butthole. I don't even like, even when they're trying to be abusive, I don't take it as that, right? I just kind of take it as them being buttholes. I don't take it personal, but I think that you do have to have better standards. Like, hey, can you like not be a complete butthole? I grew up around women, so I've learned to lead with my emotions. I don't think being emotional makes one weak. I think people lack understanding of emotions. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Mysteriously kind. I'm guessing, and I'm not sure about this, but I'm guessing that you're gay. If you're not, I apologize. But even gay men can admit to men being buttholes. There is no perfect family. You know, there is no perfect. I think that you can strive for somewhat of perfection, but there is no perfect like the Brady Bunch, or who was those, the Beavers, like that has never existed. I think that TV kind of sort of was a bad thing for us, because I think that they were trying to sort of, throughout the years, and then with the Huxtables, they were trying to give us this idea of what a family is supposed to be, but in reality, that's not what it is. And I don't believe in toxic positivity. I personally do not believe, when I'm in a relationship with someone, that they have to constantly blow marshmallow fluff up my butt. Even though I would like to have marshmallow fluff up my butt, literally, I would like to have some of that. But, I don't, I think that people get cranky. People go through what they go through. There's bipolarism. There's, some of them are, some of them are psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic, So, yeah, yeah, they're just like, I don't. So it was really, it just, it's like a, when you try to pretend that everything is okay constantly, and oh, we're just, no, 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 there is going to be these underlying emotions that are being created, and it's like a balloon. It's like a hot air, a tight, like a hot air balloon that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and filled with more hot air. I think that if couples blow off the steam, and and just let it out, I think that's more positive. I don't think it's positive to, just constantly have this so-called gender role where a man is supposed to be like, do what I say, woman, and the woman is supposed to be like, I don't think that's healthy, because we've seen that throughout the years, and literally a lot of these women snap and kind of stab the man to death. I mean, so I think it's important to communicate, because it's just, it's crazy. So anyway, yeah. I don't, a lot of people will kind of shy away from the realness. And, they kind of want to see these couples that are just like, hey, we're down at the park and we're just hanging out, and, or we're here and everything's perfect. Happy holidays. And then when they turn off the camera, it's like, get the fuck away from me, son of a bitch. Like, I'd rather see that. I'd rather see what's real, to be honest with you. And that's not to say that a man and a woman can't have a good relationship with each other. I'm not saying that, but there's never going to be a time where the man is not going to argue with the woman and the woman is not going to argue with the man. Now, if a woman is just constantly nah, 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 and a man is constantly blah, 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 now that's annoying. That's freaking annoying, okay? But if every once in a while a couple has to go, you know what? You getting on my nerve. Uh, I'm getting ready to like snap if you don't stop getting on my nerve. Like that, like I've like this whole YouTube world of lies. It's a lie. And it's not that we have to see couples fighting, which we have, but people become judgmental. But in reality, you know, that's just what it is. And there's nobody in the world, there's no woman, unless you're dealing with a robot, that's going to sit up there and be abused or either taken for granted by a man and they're just not going to say anything. Like nobody's going to say, "Oh, I'm just going to look the other way, turn the other cheek." There's no woman like that ever. And I think that again, I think that, it's just not reality. It isn't. That's just like it's not reality that, just because you get married that everything is going to be perfect. It's not. And now what I was shocked about was when she said that he would leave. Like, I didn't realize that. Like, she said he would leave after she gave birth and she would be there, like, doing it alone. And that shocked me. That was shocking. Um, but, even some of them that are there, they tend to still leave, but they're just there as like an empty shell or a demonically possessed doll. Is kind of what they remind me of sometimes. And, because I don't know, I remember growing up with my father and I was totally miserable most of the time until he took me to Dairy Queen to get ice cream. But otherwise, he was cranky. He was in his own world. He would sit on the couch and smoke his weed and completely ignore me. So then I would act out just to get his attention. My father is a Virgo, and you don't want a father that's a Virgo. I think I would rather have a father that was ruled by Neptune. Mercury is toxic. Yeah. Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, especially when you consider the zodiac signs. Men are totally different from the women. Um, I'm not trying to be like my daddy. Okay. I'm not trying to be like my father. I'm trying to be like me. Okay. Is your father a Virgo? Oh my God. They are so strange. It's no shade to the Virgos out there, but like my father was so withdrawn. And like every now and then he would just come alive and I would see him smile and I would just hug him and but the rest of the time it was like, I'm in my own little world. Man, man, man. And I just was like, I thought about committing suicide a lot when I was a kid. I hated my life as a kid because I wanted my father and I felt like he wasn't there half the time, up until my mother left him. And oh God, your father, you said he has anger management or he needs anger management. Like, yeah, I would rather have a father that is maybe possibly ruled by Neptune. I don't know. The one thing that I don't, and I wouldn't like I would never accept, like my daughter's father who passed away last year. He would never spank my kids, and like I can put up with a lot, just don't hit my kids. That no, God no, you, mm-mm. I don't. Um, yeah, not when they're toddlers. I don't agree with. Y'all remember that video like 5 years ago of that father beating his daughters with an extension cord? Oh my God! Don't ever hit my kids with a cord or a belt. No. Okay. My mother is a Virgo. I grew up with parents who were miserable. Oh my God. Oh God, a Virgo and a Taurus. Oh, you poor baby. I'm wishing you healing vibes, mysteriously kind. I couldn't even imagine. Both of my parents were Virgos. They're both Virgos. And my mother growing up, like I had a lot of fun with her. Like, there was things that she did that was kind of strange. But other than that, I have a lot of good memories of my mother. Um, I do. I do. She was actually a belly dance teacher, and so I was always there for that, and she took me places with her. And but my father, I just and then I lost my mother, years ago. Even before she passed on, I felt like she was gone. So, but just to think of that combination, oh my God. Uh-uh. I don't know. And I don't like that energy. Like I would rather, raise my kids to where they feel like they're happy. And so I'm always believe it or not, like I know I come on here fussing about certain things that irritate me, but I like to keep my home as happy as possible. I could not imagine having some cranky man just complaining and stuff. Like I like to be jolly and happy. I don't like misery. No. I don't like that. I'm genuinely a very happy go lucky person though. I am. I'm genuinely like just a happy person. Um Positive. I don't like the negative, just that tension, um, that tense feeling of, just I don't know what to do with it. I don't like that. So, you know, I don't know, like, and I've been a single mom for years, and I just, I love to hear my kids laugh, and I like to see them smile. I don't, I don't. So that's really sad because I remember growing up and I cried a lot. I cried a lot growing up. And for years, I begged my parents to have another child, but they didn't need another child. But I was a kid. But yeah, I cried most of the time growing up. I was so depressed all the time. And it was just the vibe was just all off until we went to my grandmother's. And when I got to be around my grandmother, when we moved in with my grandmother, her energy was just always very uplifting. So yeah, it just my parents are crazy. Sometimes they act the same all the time with their shenanigans. Are they ever happy though? Like, I just don't understand that. Like, I don't mind getting married as long as we are happy, and I can't, like, and it's not even that I do it purposely. It's just naturally the type of person that I am. Like, come on guys, let's watch a movie, let's make some popcorn, or let's make some popcorn and play a board game or something. I'm not the type of person that just kind of sits there like a bump on the log. Like, I like for my home environment to be happy. And I think that a lot of people were raised like that, because I know that I was like, when I was around, it just my father and my mother, and it was just like, my mother would be at the sewing machine and she would be sewing her costumes, and my father would be sitting there and he would have his leg up. He always liked his sectionals, and he would have his feet propped up and he would be watching something on TV. And I just used to want to go in there and talk to him, but he never would talk to me. And after he got older, after my mother left him, he would talk to me. But I think that I wish he would have did it more when we lived together. Like, it's like she had to literally get up and walk out and leave for him to even notice, you know? So sometimes when they go crazy, I had to go ride a bus to the mall. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That's another thing. I think that a lot of people cannot have their own identity outside of their parents. And, like I said, I don't know what changed in my mother 6 years ago. Something, I don't know what happened to her, but just thinking back when she was raising me the whole time, like there were times when she did some traumatic stuff that traumatized me, but otherwise, it was just always an environment where I was laughing and I was happy and I was, it wasn't just, oh, let's just sit here and be miserable, and let's sit here and be miserable, not give the kids any stimulation, and if they act out, let's beat them. And I've seen parents like that. I have seen parents like that. Like, they don't give their kids no kind of interaction, stimulation, and so if you do that, kids are going to act out, and then sit down somewhere before I beat you, and or I'm going to, like, I don't, it's just, uh awful, you know. And what I hate is when I would see my father, when somebody would come over, hey, how you doing, and smiling and stuff, but just 5 minutes ago you were sitting on the couch sulking, and you didn't talk to me, but you talked to these people, and uh so yeah, that whole thing, I think everybody wants to play a role, but I don't think they really know how to do that. So anyway, yeah, that was, mm, And then, of course, a lot of them are demonically possessed. Uh-huh. And you do good to get a couple of days of normalcy out of them, and then the next thing you know, out comes the demon. It's demon time. I don't know. If I were married, I think I would live in separate houses. And just come over when you're feeling happy. You know, I'd rather be in a different house altogether. You know, and I think if I was married, I would sleep in a separate room with my door locked. I don't. No, I'm just saying that, guys. It depends. Like, I guess when my husband is not demon possessed, I would, lay there and just hold him all night. But they're all crazy. I'm telling you. Oh goodness. And see, I don't know. I think you have to look at somebody's chart. Like, for example, well, you know what? No, no, no. My Venus is in Taurus. So I am a very stable love partner. Now, let's say if I don't know, Venus was in Gemini, you might be an unstable love partner. you might be, you might be kind of unstable, okay? Seriously. Like, I think that you have to really look at somebody's chart. But most people don't do that before they fall in love with somebody. So anyway, I like to as soon as I look at somebody's chart, I always look at their Venus. And I can tell a lot by somebody by their Venus sign because now if you have a Venus in Libra or Taurus, okay, Libra is ruled by Venus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, okay, and luxury and material things. Um, but I feel like Taurus energy is very stable. So, like for example, mysteriously kind, you would have to look at either your mother's rising sign or either her Mercury. Like your Mercury sign counts. Now, I have a Mercury in Gemini. I am one of the best. My chart is predominantly Mercury. I have a lot of Mercury in my chart. I'm one of the best Geminis that I know. All Geminis should strive to be just like Jamila. For real, for real. I don't know what's going on with my phone. It's been on 13% forever. I think I'm going to get a new charger, but yeah, like I am the Gemini master because Geminis, like, they're supposed to be some of the most intuitive. Like, believe it or not, Geminis are supposed to be some of the most intuitive. Even though we would think that it would be the Cancer, no, Geminis are supposed to know. They're supposed to know. Okay, because they're air and they are ruled by Mercury. Not the truth. Not the truth. Like, mm-mm, mm-mm. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all, I got to go. Blessings to y'all. Yeah, so if your Venus is in Capricorn, then that's what's up. If you have like earth or water in your Venus or a Leo in your Venus, any other fire or air, ooh, that may be a problem. Oh, cool. Yeah, your Venus is in Pisces. So, Christian, that means that you possibly could sometimes need like time to yourself, like in relationships, like you may need to sometimes go off into your own world to recharge yourself, but that's a good Venus sign. But like if a person is like Gemini Venus or worse an Aquarius, oh God, oh God, mm-mm, mm-mm. And then also if your Venus is in Pisces, then you probably would have a high sex drive and be very like sensual in the bedroom. Um, very emotional in the bedroom. I know that it would be good to be a Cancer Venus as well. Okay. But, um, you know, anything, anything air or either, I think Aries are good lovers. Aries and Leo. Sagittarius is natural born cheaters, male and female, natural born cheaters. Very domineering, got to be in control of everything. I cannot, and I have not. I have not ever. Now, and that depends on a person's Venus sign again. Okay. I have Sagittarius in one placement in my chart, and that is in Neptune. My Neptune is in Sagittarius. Okay. Um, Otherwise, that would be the main complaint is that, and this is a known fact that Sagittarius lovers are cheaters. Okay, and I can't stand no cheater. Like I can put up with a lot of crap as long as you don't cheat on me. I can't stand that. So, you know. Yeah, my Lilith is in Gemini. I am so Gemini. I would have been born a Gemini if I'd have been born like 2 days earlier. I would have been a Gemini. But I'm actually on the cusp. My mother used to always tell me, no, you are a Cancer, but you're on the cusp of Gemini. And it might have been because my mother saw certain things about me when I was a little baby. Like I was working my Gemini self out. Because Geminis, they think too much and they think the worst. A lot of them are very, very negative thinkers. They think too much and they always assume the worst. Okay. So that's why I say I'm the best Gemini in the world because I don't think that way. I don't. And, but I can imagine like when I was younger, I remember being very, very like a strange child. I was a strange kid. Like I don't know why I was crying all the time. I just cried a lot as a kid. Like I would just cry. Like I didn't cry loud. Like I would just be real melancholy and just like sad. And sometimes if I would cry out loud, 5 minutes later I'd be laughing. Like I would cry and then I would start laughing. Like it was really weird. So I've managed to balance all of those emotions out though. Um, yeah. My little one though is a Pisces god. He's got 8 placements in Pisces. I was in total and utter shock when I saw his chart. I was like, "Are you serious right now?" My son is a god of Pisces. He is. And I think that that means something. Like, that's why I'm overprotective over all of my children, but I'm especially overprotective of that boy. That boy is special. He is special. Okay, he is. And like, he's gonna be something else. He's gonna be something when he gets older. He is, because I ain't never seen no chart like that before, and I am not kidding. Like, Pisces, 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 Pisces. 8 placements in a row. All Pisces. Like, I was, when I first looked at his chart, I was like, "Oh my God, you poor baby." Like, he is so super duper sensitive, and like, that is, oh my God. So I'm constantly looking out for my little one. I love him so much. You have 6 water in your chart, yeah, yeah. So anyway, okay, guys, I'm gonna go. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, all right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Blessings, blessed be y'all.